Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope everyone had a great weekend. It's Monday now, so back to the new stuff that's happening in the markets. Markets were up today. Bitcoin was down actually just a little bit. Ethereum was up just barely. Miners were kind of mixed today as well, so we'll take a look at all that. We got a couple of stories to talk about. We got Hut 8 is going to report their financial results for 2022 in the next couple of days. And then we got Digital provided their production update for February, and Terawulf is energizing the Nautilus facility, which is a good thing there. And we got Bitcoin possibly going to 19,000, so we'll get through all of these topics here, okay? And as always, you guys know the drill here. Not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. I'm invested in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Let's get into the markets here really quick. So S&P was up 0.07% to 4,048. Dow Jones was up 0.12% to 33,431. NASDAQ was up 0.1% to 12,302. Bitcoin was actually down today. It's been kind of trading flat here over the last couple of days. The weekend, there was just no action going on. It was just bouncing between the 50-day moving average here. But Bitcoin was down today 0.1% to 22,410. If we look at the 1 hour chart here, you can see here this light yellow blue line is the 50-day moving average. And Bitcoin has been just hugging that ever since, we had that fall here back on, when was this, Friday or Thursday? And then it's just been hugging that 50-day moving average constantly here. Try getting a little wicks here, they get rejected, we fall back down, and then we're trending on it, staying above it or below it the whole time. So there's really no direction as far as which way it wants to go. RSI has been also flat during this time frame. So we'll have to see what happens going forward. Right now, it's in no man's land. It doesn't have any real direction it wants to go into. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Ethereum was up a little bit today, not much, but it was up barely. It was up 0.07% to a close of 1,565. Same thing with Ethereum. There's really no direction as far as which way it goes. I think the market is right now skittish as far as what Fed Powell is going to say, what the CPI data is going to be coming out like. There's a lot of data coming out this month. So that is having an impact, I think, on risk on assets right now, Bitcoin, Ethereum included in that. And we'll just see how things play out. So anybody's guess right now. Okay, let's take a look at the miners here. Turn that off, and we'll turn that off. All right, so Annie was down 6.67% today to 35 cents. Argo was up 2.45% to $1.67. Digital was down 0.4% to $1.23. Bitfarms was down up today 1.16% to 89 cents. Cypher was down 1.86% to $1.58. CleanSpark was down 3.14% to $2.47. Cores was down 8% to 33 cents. DigiHost was down 1.55% to $1.27. DMG was up 3.86% to 22 cents. GreenEdge was down 0.91% to 50 cents. Hive was up 1.09% to $2.78. Hut 8 was up 0.64% to $1.57. Iris Energy was up 0.96% to $2.64. Marathon was down 0.94% to $6.32. Mawson was down 2.46% to $2.38. Riot was up 0.47% to $6.37. Soluna was down 1.32% to 32 cents. Terawulf was up 0.49% to 65 cents. And that's it for the miners. Like I said, it was a mixed day for them as well. And let's take a look at the network hash rate here. Network hash rate on the 7-day average has peaked a new all-time high. We are now at 329 million terahashes on the 7-day average. If we look at the 1-day average, it is steadily climbing. We went down over the weekend to 325 million, and then we're back up to 331 million, just a little bit. The consensus is that it's going to continue going up here as miners get installed. Especially as we're hearing from Terawulf that they're installing more miners, others are installing more miners. It's going to continue to go up. Okay, let's get into our first story here, which is going to be on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin traders eye 19,000 BTC price bottom, warn of hot February CPI. So it could be testing few weeks for Bitcoin and risk assets, market commentators say, with Fed Chair Jerome Powell due to kick off the triggers on March 8th. That's only 2 days away. And here's the concern with them. You can see here how Bitcoin has been trading here. It's just been going sideways, no real direction. The Wolf of All Streets tweeted today, good luck trading this. And I agree that, there's really no way to trade this. There's no real direction going in it. So specifically, the February point of the consumer price index due March 14th is expected to be hot or above expectations. Analyst, venture founder said, new Bitcoin higher low and the bearish RS divergence continues, he wrote in a Twitter update on the day. And then with hot CPI numbers coming in the FOMC meeting later this month, March could be a bad month for risk on assets, including BTC. A breakdown from this level would trigger 19,000. We do have that also on Bitcoin, where we might come back down because we do have, if we look at it on this one here, we have this space between, that's a gap. We sometimes fill it, not always, but majority of the time we do fill these gaps. So we might be coming down to here around 19,000 something. The bottom on this gap is 19,155 and the top of the gap is 20,520. So we might come down and fill this gap as well. And going down here, CPI print Prints tend to spark short-term volatility across risk assets. This nonetheless often short-lived, with the Bitcoin spot price then returning to previous levels. Continuing popular trader Crypto Ed likewise voiced belief in the 19,000 marking the next local BTC floor bottom. Biggest bull trap ever, but the bottom is in. Enjoy the coming months and don't get fooled by the lower FTFs. Part of Twitter commentary read, and here is his tweet. So let's update this: 21,000 before 25K, 25K before 20K, and the new 23K before 20K, 19K before 30K. So that's kind of how he's trending this. Biggest bull trap ever, but the bottom is in. Enjoy the coming months and don't get fooled on the lower TFs. So that's kind of what he's seeing on it. Others are seeing the same thing, that might fall back down a little bit before it starts going back up. I would agree with this. I'm seeing the same kind of trend happening here. We'll see how it's going to play out. Nobody really knows. But if the numbers come in hotter for the CPI this month for February, that's going to be definitely a wrecking call for the risk on assets. So be mindful of that. I'm not a day trader, so I'm in it for the long run. I'm not too worried about it. If it goes down lower, well, it just gives me a great buying opportunity to buy in into the stocks that I want to get into, possibly a little bit more Bitcoin. We'll see how that happens, but it's just a buying opportunity to me. So I'm okay with it if that happens. And then, you know, we got plenty of time before the end of the year, which I think we'll get to maybe closer to 39, 40,000 by the end of the year. We'll see how that's going to play out. And then finally, after the bull run, after the halving next year, that's when things are going to get really interesting, and we'll see what happens then. Okay, that is it for Bitcoin. We'll see where it ends up at. Next is Hut 8. Hut 8 is set to release their 2022 financial results March 9th. So that's only a couple of days away. And we'll take a look at what they have provided in that, how they did for the year, and then for the Q4 numbers as well. Okay, so that's a pretty quick one there. I just wanted to keep you guys aware of that. Next is Terawulf. Terawulf announces energization and rapid deployment of mining operations at the Nautilus facility in Pennsylvania. I thought this was great. They have been struggling here for a little bit. So Nautilus today announced that the company has now energized roughly half of its 15 megawatt stake in the Nautilus crypto mine facility, a joint venture with Cumulus Coin LLC. The Nautilus facility represents the first behind-the-meter Bitcoin mining facility of its kind, directly sourcing reliable, carbon-free, and 24/7 baseload power from the 2.5 gigawatt Susquehanna nuclear generation station in Pennsylvania. Currently, the company has brought nearly 8,000 of its miners online, representing a hash rate capacity of approximately 1 exahash. So that's fantastic there. They definitely could use the extra revenue from that. Energization of the company's remaining miners, approximately 8,000, will continue over the coming weeks, with Terawulf's full share in phase 1 of the facility, 50 megawatts, and 1.9 exahash expected online by May. So that's only a couple months away. Also, we're in February now. Well, actually, we're in March now. Wow. Time's flying. So we're in March now, so you got April, well, a couple months away, 2 months away at most. Terawulf has the option to add an additional 50 megawatts of Bitcoin mining capacity at the Nautilus facility, which the company plans to deploy in future phases. So that's all good there. They are continuing to grow, which is good to see. And we'll see how the stock reacts. The stock reacted a little bit to it today, with the stock being up just barely. But, you know, once Bitcoin starts going back up, I expect the stock to do much better going forward. Okay. And finally, our last story here on the day is Bit Digital. They announced their monthly production update for February 2023. And here are the details. So in February 2023, the company earned 108.2 Bitcoins, a 19% decrease compared to the prior month. The decrease in production was primarily driven by fewer days during the month and an increase in network difficulty, which is true. We have, you could call it 2 or 3 days less in February than in other months. And then also the network hash rate has increased quite a bit here. So continuing on here, 13,645 Bitcoin miners representing 1.3 exahash was actively hashing in North America as of February 28th, 2023. So that's fine there. Treasury holdings of BTC and Ethereum were 696.5 Bitcoins and 7,332.6, with a fair market value of approximately 16.1 million and 11.8 million, respectively, on February 28th, 2023. A portion of the holdings were sold off here, so that's fine. And the company had cash and cash equivalents of 33.6 million as of February 28th, 2023. The company did not purchase any or sell any miners during the month, so that's bad news there. I would have liked to have seen them use the cash that they do have, especially in this time that we are in. The miners are relatively inexpensive to purchase right now per terahash if you're looking at them. So this would be a good time for them to use some of that capital that they do have, expand their growth. But the problem is, if they don't have any place to put them, well, that doesn't do them any good either. So they really need to get hosting solutions in place that they can utilize to put in new miners and use their cash to grow that way. Because they do have a lot of miners that are actually pretty old. And we'll take a look at the numbers here right now. Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers that we do have on them. And I'll show you guys the miners that they have that are pretty old that probably should be, you know, they should be selling or, well, taking a huge hit on those. Okay, so shares outstanding is 82.1 million roughly. Stock price was not updated yet. That's, they're what, $1 something right now. Market cap is about 101 million. Current hash rate, 1.3 exahash. Future hash rate is 2.8 if you include all the old miners, but I would probably take those out. They are 46% operational right now. I would say they are pretty much 100% operational right now. And hash rate growth, I doubt there's going to be any from the miners that they have left over. So that's kind of where we are at. BTC HODL is 696.5. That's valued at about 15.9 million right now. HODL to market cap ratio is about 15.63%, and each share has about 19 cents of HODL in it right now. Now, their BTC production, you can see here that it has gone up here a little bit in October. Well, that was kind of their peak here at 152 Bitcoins in October. Then it's come down a little bit here in November, 144. December was another decrease to 130, and then January was 134.3, with February now being the lowest here out of the last 7-8 months, 108 BTC mined. Their BTC efficiency has also come down here in February to 83.22 Bitcoins per exahash. So that's not good to see there as well. It looks like curtailed for a little bit here, but not too much. And when we look at the numbers here, generating 108.2 Bitcoins, they generated about 2.5 million in revenue. And this is based on the average Bitcoin price for February. They did sell, it looks like, about 382 Bitcoins roughly, based on my numbers here that I keep track of them. That equated to about 8.9 million in revenue, depending on when they sold it, at what price, things like that. But that's kind of the average price of where it would be. Now, as far as miners are concerned, we can see here that I had to add actually a set of miners here to get them to the 1.3. In December, I had them at 1.23 exahash. January was 1.25. And then now is 1.3. And I'm guessing that they were installing these 63 terahash miners possibly. Maybe they're now profitable with the Bitcoin price being up above 20,000. So it makes sense for them to do it while they still have them. And they haven't bought any new machines out. But that's kind of how I got to the 1.3 exahash with about $2.5 million in revenue, which is fine. And let's see here. You can see the miners here that they do have. They do have some of these newer generation Ant miners, the 100 terahash miners. They got some over here as well. And then some of the older M30s over here at 88 terahash. And then everything else like the 63 terahash miners, I would, if they're profitable right now, which they might be, use them while you can. Make some, generate some Bitcoin from those if possible. And then I would definitely look for getting rid of these and buying newer miners to get them replaced, possibly with the 122 exahash miners from Bitmain, which are really inexpensive right now. Would be a great buy for them, actually, if they could get it. But that's also if they have the space to put them into, okay? So that's on the miners. And then institutions. Institutions did decrease a little bit here to 63, but shares increased to 14 million from 10.2, so that's good. Percentage owned went up to 17% from 12.45, so that's also good. And as far as analyst ratings, we still have only one buy rating, and the price target for the high, average, and low is still $2, and that's been that way for the past 3 months, so no change in that one. Okay, so that's pretty good there. And when we take a look at all the numbers that we do have for them, they are, let's see here, current quarter is going to be about 8 million if things stay the way they are. Prior 2 quarters are reported for, so those are the actual numbers. Fourth quarter is an estimate, so we're waiting on that numbers as well. Once we get that, that'll get updated. But currently we're looking at about combined total of 31.6 million roughly in revenue over the last 4 quarters, including this one right now. And then if we use 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $1.93 potentially, so they are undervalued, but that's with a PE of 10. And the reason a PE of 10 right now is because they're not growing that much. The miners that they do have are older miners. They really need to get those updated. If they start growing potentially, then we could possibly increase their PE up to maybe 15 or 20. And it also depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin starts going up, well, that's going to help them out as well. But I do think that they are undervalued right now currently. And then if we use the 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at, with a PE of $2.89. And like I said, just all depends on their growth. I think if they start growing, we can bump up their PE, which would give them definitely more on the upside here. So potentially if we go to 15 PE, we're looking at $2.89 to $4.34. So like I said, they are undervalued. The main thing is they don't have any debt, which is good. The only other thing is that they really just need to grow. Find shelf space to put the miners into and really start purchasing miners right now, because right now is the best time to do it because they are just so inexpensive. So that is it. Otherwise, they just got to keep growing. Okay, so with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, the spreadsheet is going to be available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there for their continued support. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then,